my doctor said I'm good to go, I'll have to trust it, and we'll go out there and see how it does.
Where have you been rehabbing and doing all that stuff?
I've been working with the people in Columbus at the Ohio State facility.
There's not too much change. Outside of yourself, who's the leader of that Ohio State offense?
Will Howard, he brings in a presence like into the huddle and intensity. You know, he knows exactly what he's doing each play, and when you have a guy like that can come in and like, hey, here's what we're doing. It's 3rd and 3. We got to get this, and when he can bring in that energy in and fire everybody up, it was definitely a difference maker.
Was that like immediate, or did you kind of grow into that as the year went on?
He definitely grew into it. You know, you got to go out there and gain confidence for yourself and gain the trust of your teammates. And throughout the year, he just got better and better.
What is this? Credit for the roller coaster existence in college.
Helps you as an athlete.
You know, Alabama, then the snaps, then the transfer, and then you great at Ohio State, then you get hurt, but then at the end, the lasting image of you smoking the cigar on the side. How would you describe the ups and downs you've gone through in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's been an awesome career. Wouldn't change anything for the world. Being the two greatest football programs in the country, like two most winningest, or 2 of the top 3. It's been an incredible blessing to be a part of those teams and win a lot of games. And there's ups and downs that come with it, but it's put me in this position where I'm at right now. And I wouldn't be where I was without the worst parts of my time, and I wouldn't be where I am without the best parts, clearly. But wouldn't trade anything for the world.
What's this last week been like? What kind of feedback have you gotten from teams?
Yeah, it's cool. I think everybody's just trying to see where this Achilles is at, and it's going good. Trying to reassure people that it's going to be good. Trying to really wow people on the board work and teaching them like the stuff that we did at Ohio State, and I think I'm doing a really good job there. Just got to keep gaining the trust and keep going to work on this PT and rehab, and by April we'll know a lot more how that's going.
What do you feel like you were able to learn, the last few months, even while being sidelined? What do you feel like you were able to pick up?
Yeah, the biggest thing is I never had a season-ending injury like this, so I know why I love to play football, but I didn't realize how much I would miss football if I didn't have it. And that's reignited a fire in me to get back out there and get my competitive juices flowing and attacking this rehab each day like it's a Saturday game. So just excited to get back out there and get another opportunity to play football.
Seth, what do you think separates good centers from great centers? What do you think is part of the separation?
I think communication. You can do your job, you can know what you're doing, but if you can't effectively communicate that to the 4 people and the tight ends and the quarterback at the line of scrimmage and all the different environments that you can play in, if you can't do that, then you won't elevate the game of everybody else around you. If you have a great center in there that can communicate and have everybody on the same page and everybody has trust in that center, people will play much faster and it takes a lot of the thinking out for everybody else.
So whichever team that drafts you, what kind of player are they?
Yeah, I think they're getting somebody that can do just that. I've played in a ton of environments, the hardest environments across the country, multiple different conferences. Played with a lot of different systems, played with a bunch of different quarterbacks. I know how to effectively communicate to everybody, and I think I do raise the level of play of those around me.
Seth, did you know Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I have not.
What did it mean to you being the best center in college football?
Yeah, it was awesome. You don't really – my whole mentality is I don't really play for awards like that, especially stuff that's voted on, because there's not really you can't really prove what you've done to get there. That's based on votes, but to be voted for that is cool. To have people recognize that I played really well and had a bounce back year, it's tremendous, and that's something nobody can take away from me. And it's a huge testament to the people that poured into me this year at Ohio State. Coach Justin Fry did an incredible job. Coach Day for just having the respect of my game to bring me in and not listen to everything that goes on Twitter, and to have that amount of confidence in me, it really helped me play at a high level.
What do you think?
Badass safety name down with a great center, a future quarterback next year. I mean, even Christmas, you guys kind of found a good promised land after Nick retired.
Yeah, I think Coach Day does a great job of identifying good people to bring into this organization, whether that's in high school or through the transfer portal, and he does a really good job at that, and it really paid off this year.
What did you think of the way Carson stepped in, and where did you kind of see him grow the most, especially the last couple months there?
Yeah, Carson did an incredible job after I got hurt. He was starting to left guard for a couple games before I went down, and for him to slide back into the center spot where he'd been taking a lot of backup reps throughout the year, I think he grew a lot. He worked on his technique, he worked on effectively communicating, and just having the confidence to go out there and do it. I think that year, those 10 games where he kind of sat behind me and learned from me was really beneficial for him in that sense, to just go out there and get better without the pressure of having to perform on each Saturday. So by the time he got to step in, he was an incredible distance away from who he was.
How big of a leader do you think he's going to be on this 2025 team?
Yeah, he has to. He's been in the fire. He started probably 18 games now in his career. That's a pretty veteran starter over the course of 2 years. So, and especially at that center spot, he'll be able to bring a lot of people along with him, and he'll definitely be the tip of the spear of that offense.
Were you surprised the guard rotation worked as well as it did?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys played their best football in the games. Luke Montgomery stepped up a ton because he wasn't even in that rotation early on in the year. It was always Tegra, Carson, Donnie, and Austin Serveld, and he was kind of that odd guy out. So he just got to sit back, progress, keep going to work each day, and when he got out there in the game, he actually had to go full speed and do it. He played really well.
How important are these interviews for you this week since you can't work out?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I am doing. So the medical stuff is important. Can't really control that, just going to rehab and doing what I'm supposed to do. Those interviews is where I can shine and prove to these teams, because they've probably heard that I'm a smart dude, but I have to prove just how smart and really what separates me from the rest of the guys in this class, and that's all I can do, so that's all I am doing.
How do you do that?
How would you describe your emotions going through the
No, you're good.
How would you describe your emotions going through the injury that you did, and then watching your teammates and your brothers win from the injury?
Yeah, I was distraught because as soon as you do that, you don't know what the future holds. I didn't know if I was going to be standing here doing this. I didn't know if I had ruined my team's dreams of continuing on that playoff run because we had already lost Josh Simmons, and I know once you start losing starters like that, it's hard to keep going. So the first couple of weeks were really tough on me. I was glad to go see us go out and beat Indiana. The next week was hard because I feel like I could have helped in that the Team Up North game. But to see them really take that next step in the playoffs and have those 2 extra weeks to gel in between the Big Ten championship game week and the couple off weeks that we had, it was just incredible to be a part of that. I stuck around and I was helping in the meeting rooms and helping out at practice a lot, more for me than for them. Because I couldn't not be around those guys, because those are definitely my brothers, and I know that's cliche, a lot of people say that, but the amount of love I have for the dudes in that room is unbelievable.
Have you met formally with the 49ers by chance?
I have not.
What are the teams talking about? They mostly talking about you playing center. They talk about like guard spots as well. Like, you all play center in college.
Yeah, I started every single game at center in college. Every single one of these teams has curiosity, like, hey, have you even played guard before? And I have in practice. I've worked at it. I think I could easily slide over and play guard. Probably take a little bit of development and learning the new angles, but I think I'd pick up on it quick.
Seth, going back really quick into the film room, what you're trying to show the teams, like, how do you separate yourself in that aspect when every other prospect probably also do the same thing? How do you separate yourself?
I think they make you drop some plays, so I try to pick good plays that take a lot of explanation, and I install it like I'm the offensive coordinator. I drop every single guy on the field what he's doing, and really try to impress these guys with the amount of knowledge I have, because it's different than walking up saying, hey, I can find where the mic is, but if I can tell you what every single person on the field is doing, it really shows that I know what I'm doing and where I fit in that puzzle.
Where did you learn that kind of work habit, that mental side? Where did you learn to bring that to the table? How important that is?
Yeah, I've been working with AQ Shipley over some Zoom calls, and I went out to Phoenix and worked with him. And he's a longtime veteran in the NFL, assistant offensive line coach for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and he's just given me a tremendous amount of knowledge to kind of how to demonstrate that. I've played in a ton of different schemes. I had all the schemes at Bama, went to Chip Kelly's offense at Ohio State, more of a pro style like numbering system, and I've had a ton of offensive line coaches. I've had 4 offensive line coaches in my 5-year career, so I've learned from a ton of different people. Just picking up different knowledge from each one of them has been a very beneficial process to go through for me, and I think it really helps me when I can go out there and demonstrate what I know and how much knowledge and experience I have.
Going back to one of your can you explain part of that decision to transfer from Bama to Ohio State?
Yeah, I didn't have the year I wanted to my last year at Alabama, and my end goal was I wanted to play in the National Football League. Going into that 4th year, I had a draftable grade. At the end of it, I didn't. And if I wanted to go and get to this point, I had to challenge myself. I had to be uncomfortable. I went to Ohio State where they had a guy who had started 12 games at center the year before. I knew if I couldn't play at Ohio State, then I wasn't going to play in the NFL anyways. But the scariest decision is the one that's going to make you grow the most. And that's definitely what it was. Going into a high-pressure environment, national championship or bust team, if I couldn't perform, I wouldn't be here anyways, and I didn't deserve to be here. But I went there, proved myself to the coaching staff, to the guys in that room, won a starting spot, played really, really well those 10 games that I got before I got hurt, and I've put myself in a position to be here, so I'm thankful for the whole process.
I was just talking with Josh Simmons over there, and he said you're one of the most intelligent teammates he's ever had. What was it like working with Josh?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Josh, over there, podium 6. But yeah, Josh Simmons, he's a freak athlete. He's one of the most athletically gifted persons I've ever played with in the game of football in my 5 years of college. Being 310 pounds and being that explosive, that powerful, have that type of bend, upper body strength, he's everything you'd want in a left tackle in the National Football League, and he can go out there and go athletically toe-to-toe with anybody in the league.